Hey everyone. Yeah, just doing another video here on SWGAide. This time we're going to focus on laboratory, test bench, and crafting. Let's get over here into aid. Alright, so we'll go over to the schematics area. We're going to kind of focus on this area. Let's get this out of the way here a little bit. A lot of you have probably already explored this. And as I always say before, there's always help on this stuff. Just you can bring up a help menu, and there's like all kinds of stuff. But anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to play with an engine overhaul Mark II. And in this middle column, it tells us everything about the schematic, the base complexity, the level, the type, and blah blah blah. Crate sizes. Crate size probably off now if you're, I know Legends, I think, increased the crate sizes a while back on certain things. So the quality is HQ, meaning high quality. That means that stuff matters. If this was a low quality, like a couch or something, we could, we wouldn't care about any of these stats. In fact, it wouldn't even have stats. But you can see how the material required, they highlight as we roll the mouse over it. We can right-click any of these, and we can create a guard if we wanted to. We can filter the inventory, see what we have, or filter current, see what's out there, stuff like that. Okay. Over here we have a shopping list. On the right, with this factory batch, this just changes the shopping list. We can increment that up. So you want to make 10 of them. That's how much material we would need to make 10 of these things. And of course, there's an estimated time if we were to run these in a factory. This is just a guesstimate based on base values for factories. Your time obviously would be different in game depending on how you've spent your expertise and the complexity of your final craft, right? Because complexity counts into time as well. So blah blah blah. But anyway, this gives you like a rough idea, right? So if we're gonna make 50 of these, it's going to take 3 hours 20 minutes roughly, right? We have a custom notes field. If we just left click on that, it'll bring up a notes dialog. We can type stuff in here to save for that specific schematic, and then down here we have used in. Obviously this is a sub component, so it's going to be used in engines, right? Any of these engines, and there's collection engines and stuff too that's not listed here. By the way, these schematics are loaded from SWGCraft. If you look down here at the bottom, 1,957 schematics from swgcraft.org, and the date that it was last, the schematics were last modified, right? So anyway, that being said, we're going to play with this engine overhaul. We're going to go over here to the laboratory, and there it is. All these lines. The green means that it's in your inventory, obviously, because you've got your stock is how much you have, right, in your inventory. The white lined ones are what's currently in spawn. If we hover, we get a tooltip. That's 8 days old. Units owned 1. Hover over that. That's 2 days old. So we got little tooltips if we hover. You can right-click anywhere in here as well. And you've got some options and stuff, but the main one for this is resource amount. I have mine set to 7. You can increase that to like 10 max. That'll show up to 10 resources per slot, right? Per resource, per slot, per wrapper, per experimentation, whatever it's calling for. As you can see, they go down quite a bit in quality. Some of them. Steel, I have some pretty awesome steel, so but anyway, I like leaving this set at around 7. Personal preference. It's a little less cluttered, but still gives me a pretty good selection of stuff. Alright, so now up here we have what's called a test bench. This test bench button, we click that, it brings up the test bench window. Okay, now this particular component, it has all of these different things, right? It has mass, pitch, roll, speed, yaw, which in game those will be experimentation lines, but since this subcomponent only requires an OQ, an overall quality, aid just wraps it all into one thing because we're not actually crafting here. Aid only cares about stats and what it calls for. It doesn't care about actual experimentation crafting lines within the game. So this is to tell us how good we can get it, right? So if we go back to over here, if we double click into these resources, it'll drop it up here into the slot. To get rid of it, we right click the slot, that empties it. If we wanted to say switch the resource. Okay, so I'm gonna use that Osawi stuff, whatever it is. Steel, that Kenobi is like top of the line, 999. So I'm gonna load some Kenobi. The siliclastic ore is A cut. So let's load that. There we go. We got all black. Now the colors is orange is like decent, black will cap, red is like garbage. Okay, so obviously this is all black. Obviously it'll cap because look at the rating is 997. That's almost a hard cap. We only need like 2.6 points or something, right, to get up there. Now as far as these ratings go within, and we'll see ratings within game as well, but as far as the ratings go, like 997, that means 99.7%, right, overall. Now what that translates to is all traders have the option to choose in their expertise. Actually, let me just go in game and show this. It would be easier. Let me switch scenes here and get into the game. I'll bring up my expertise. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, here it is. Resource processing. This is obviously for a structures trader. So we got 2 points there, and then it branches to another one where we can spend another 2 points. That gives us a 4% bonus in resource quality, right? So if we have a resource that's only 961 rating wise, this will bump it to 100%. This will bump it to 1,000, right? That's why a 960 rating is typically what we look for. Like see these over here, like this is a 953, that's only 95.3%. That won't cap even with the resource bonus, right? So this is why anything above 960 shows up as red or whatever color you've chosen for awesome in aid. But anyway, that's the explanation behind that rating. Now of course things are a little bit different for Jedi. Jedi do not have expertise they can spend for resource quality improvements, right? So what Jedi have is a meditation buff, which only grants them 2%. That's it. It's a little tougher for Jedi looking for resources to craft their sabers. So when a Jedi is looking for resources, he or she needs to look for a 980 rating or higher as far as caps are concerned, because 980 equals 98%, plus your 2% meditation buff gets you to 100%, right? So yeah, Jedi is the odd duck out there as far as the rating goes. 980 for Jedi, 960 for all other traders, right? So anyway, all right, let's go back to the game. All right, let's close this off. Actually, I had an engine there. Let's see. All right, I'm going to craft an overhaul Mark II, which is what we just did in aid. And as you can see, exact same requirements. Let's pull this up. Pretty sure I used a cut. Look at that, 1,000. That's some awesome radioactive. Just awesome stuff. And steel, I think I used, what was it? No, I didn't use E. E's really good too. Look at that. Overall quality is 982. But I'm going to use Kenobi, because Kenobi is 999. I mean, and I got like mountains of Kenobi, and it's perfect for these little subs. So, of course, if we hover over this, we can see the 99.9%, right? 100%, 99.5%. But down here, you see the rating. 999 times 100% is 999, right? So we're 999. That's the rating, meaning 99.9%. All right, so let's assemble it. Now you see all these experimentation lines down here. Look, they're all 29%. That means either one of them will cap if we spend the points, right? Let's go ahead and go to the next step and experiment. There we go. It's easier to see. All right, I've got 18 points of experimentation. Oh gosh, what do I spend it on? Well, I always spend it on speed because I'm doing engine, and I got some Bestman port ready to go here. Let's drink some, top the speed out, run the experiment. Hope, nope, no amazing. I suck. Let's run another. This will be a crappy. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother. This was an unlucky roll, but I'm going to dump the rest into yaw. Pitch, pitch, and yaw. There, that'll give us kind of a, you know, normally that's capped at 12. On a lucky day, I can max that out and cap it on, or not cap it on the first, but I get an amazing, and then I'll need to spend one more point, and I've got 100%. But this was an unlucky roll, so whatever. I'll go ahead and craft it anyway. Doesn't matter. This is just for example. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to craft the engine. So let's go back to aid. We'll close this. And by the way, the engines, and a lot of different things are this way in the game too, but the engines specifically, they all have the same requirements, same materials, exactly the same materials. The only difference is you know, they want more of it. So if you're practicing, just stick with Mark 1s, right? Stick with Mark 1 stuff to practice, to test stuff, to test your craft, because you know whatever you do on a Mark 1 is gonna be the same on a Mark 4. You're just using more resources, right? And that's true for a lot of other things, a lot of other professions and trader professions in the game as well. So let's play around with the Mark 4. Bring up the test bench. Here we got like that Osawa is like the best radioactive ever, so I'm just going to use it regardless. Steel, we have lots of choices on steel. See how we have like pitch, roll, yaw, we have energy maintenance, we have engine speed, and how they all have different stat requirements, yeah? So we can offset one or the other or whatever by depending on what resource we use. Now most of you know this if you're crafting. I'm going to throw some EHE in here just for the heck of it. Iron, let's do... yeah, the Tihodo's pretty good. Tihodo or Bofa, I don't know. Let's just see what happens with it. And aluminum, Yivik, what the heck. Alright, so now we got blackies. We got blacks all the way across here. Now here's another interesting thing. Even though these are capable of capping, let's say for example, these 4 resources is all I have. I don't have all these other selections. That's all I have. And I'm wanting to craft a decent engine, and I'm going to dump everything else, all my experimentation points into mass to bring that up. Okay, leaving these others alone. Well, engine speed is going to be great because look at that, 992, energy maintenance 974. But anyway, what this matters also on assembly. Okay, let's say for example, what did I use in there? Tihodo, yeah. Armor replacement. Let's try some different aluminum. Let's try this Dewaptisis or whatever it is. Oh, there we go. Now we got blacks all the way across the board, but look, it lowered the energy maintenance 965 by doing that. If I go back to Yivik, it's 974. Now that matters in initial assembly. Okay, matters a lot. Like if I was to go back to the Dewaptis, which gives me black all across the board, it lowers the energy maintenance to 965. That might come out as, say, a reactor drain might be like 1800 or something, right? I'm just guessing. I'm just throwing a number out there. But let's just pretend that this comes out to 1800, okay? But if I use Yivik, it costs me on mass, but it bumps this number up. This might come out to 1750 in reactor drain, which is significant. And that, again, that's on initial assembly. So, you know, if that was all I had, I would probably go with this a little bit and dump the rest of my stuff into mass, maybe, you know, or whatever. It just depends on what you're doing, who you're crafting it for, and what their preferences are. Some people may not care about mass, and they want everything into speed and a little off maintenance. I mean, who knows, right? So, like iron, we could even change up the iron. This Durwatas used to be my favorite little recipe. Look how high it gets on that, 986 on energy maintenance, because it's the highest. It's like 952 on energy maintenance. So if we wanted, you know, and what was it, aluminum? I used to have really good luck with Anasis. 984, that's not a very good. Yivik 986. So Yivik, you know, our mass armor hit points is really going to suffer on that. But look at the energy maintenance, 986. Holy smokes, right? Let's see, the steel we can do similar. Just play around, right? Energy maintenance. Who's highest on that? Ehe? I think that's what I have, isn't it? Yeah. So, you know, whatever. Alright, so let's go in game and craft an engine, just as an example. Let's get the scene switched over here. Alright, so let's go Mark IV. And I already have one of these subs. See how it's capped 12? The one I did on the video is not capped, but anyway. I'll go ahead and throw that in. We're going to use Asawi, however that's pronounced. Did I want to use Yivik or yeah, let's use Yivik. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to use this engine anyway. There's a Bofa. Where's that Durwatos? There we go. I want to show you how it really bumps that. See, that's only showing an overall of 91%. Steel. Where's my Ehe? There it is. Okay, let's do an assembly. Well, it's not bad. 1829. That would have been higher if I would have adjusted, but see how these, not all of them are capped. The hit points and mass are all suffering. The rest are good, right? So experiment. Let's drink some stuff here. Cap the speed. Hopefully, no amazings today. I'm not going to waste any more of my stuff. Oh, come on. I could have done that in 2 rolls, but anyway, so we've capped the top speed. And we can throw the rest in like pitch and yaw or something or whatever. I did get an amazing up there. 70, yeah, that's not a very good, that's not my best engine, but I'll throw the last one and roll, get that up a little bit. So, you know, it's a decent engine. It's capped on speed. Well, capped on speed with an overhaul in it. If I was using a max speed booster component, it would have capped at 104. But anyway, it's just Mark IV, but done experimenting, great prototype. I'll sell this for kibbles and bits because it ain't perfect. And that's that. So let's go back over to Aid. But as you can see, the reason that suffered so much in armor, hit points, and mass, right, was because of, I think, the iron. Right, if I'd have went with, say, a Bofa, that brought it up quite a bit, and then get rid of that Yivik. If I'd used something other than Yivik, I think that Duraptasis stuff, however it's pronounced, right? There, now I'm black all the way across the board. Now that would have been a lot more balanced build. It would have lowered the, or rather raised the reactor drain a little bit on assembly. But engine speed probably would have gotten amazing on the first roll. And capped it pretty quick and dumped the rest in wherever we wanted it. Like we could do a top speed and forget about pitch, roll, and yaw, and dump the rest in maintenance if we wanted a super efficient engine. Reactor drain matters a lot when you're running overloads, engine overloads, and stuff like that. It really. But anyway, that's getting off topic. But the same is true here for just about anything, other professions in the game. You know, if we're making droid stuff or food or weapons or armor or anything, you know, these same principles apply. But anyway, that's how you use this particular feature within SWGAide. Now, as far as the other tabs here, today's alert, most of you know what this is. It just kind of gives you a rough idea of what's good out there, compares against your inventory, and there's some filters up here. This is getting way off track, but And then we got resource class used. I like to just go all, right? And this kind of gives you an idea of what's used in what. By the way, you can click on any of these, tells you what it needs, and if you leave that selected, you can go to the laboratory and it's automatically selected for you. So you can go do a test on it, or you can go to draft schematics and it's still already selected for you, so you can see more info about it and do your calculations and whatnot. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this addition to the video tutorials, and thanks for watching.